Okay, welcome to Service Finding Operator weekly call. Today, October 14th. We have few agenda items in the discussion. If anybody want to add anything, please go ahead and add yourself. So I added the first topic, that is to discuss the final feedback. I mean, if there is any more thing to discuss about the documentation. So uh, yeah. There is one more PR from my side. Otherwise, I remember Pradag yesterday mentioned that he's still working on some mine. Is that already done or
It's
some more?
already done. It was merged yesterday. And also I
Okay.
did a bit of polishing of the ASCII doc syntax as well. So like this one, like terminology. So it's a dedicated block. They have nice kind of things to how
Yeah,
to render
yes.
this. Also, if you go, for example, on say where we could do this, like
Getting started or
yeah, quick start guide. You will see, for example,
this note
this
and
kind
all.
of notes, right?
Yeah.
Also, what is interesting, you have these call outs. So in some of the examples, for example, when annotations or so, if you looked at, so just if you,
Okay, 1 second.
yes, for example, there, I have, for example, we have now example sections. We have like for each of example dedicates subsection, but now the section title is integrated within the
Oh,
example. There are these call outs now, right? So
oh, this number, right?
yeah, I personally find it very, I mean, nice thing where we need to explain something and you point really to the lines and things. So I think it makes explanation simpler in many cases, right?
Yeah, definitely. This normally seen in books. I mean,
Yeah,
text.
yeah. And this is what ASCII docs give you really very easily, like to annotate any kind of source. Like it could be, now in our case this is YAML, but it could be any source code, for example, like in Python or something. When you want to explain something, and you can scroll down. So there are like, I think I used it like
Oh yeah,
multiple times. You see,
yeah, that looks nice.
those kind of things.
I'm curious, what if you copy paste the snippet including, would it be complete? Or okay,
So it's not copied.
cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't copy. Only that.
Yeah, and so you can actually go, like if you now click on the edit this page on the top right,
Okay.
I think it's gonna send you really to the page, so you can easy make contributions. So that's one.
Yeah, that's
I would say
nice.
interesting. And you can see, for example, like those callouts, how they're actually, what is the syntax? So on the line, go back, please.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, this
So on
is
the
the
line
syntax.
88, right? It's super easy. It's just
Yeah.
you make it like it's a comment and in comment, and then under the file you put like legend explanation.
It varies for language or it's for every script, right? I mean, it doesn't
For
matter
any
which.
kind of source code block. So, and of course the comment syntax needs to follow the programming language. So in case of YAML, that's hash. But for example, if you are in a say go code, then you use like that, // for example, and then you have this thing. So it understands, highlights everything in a
Okay.
nice way, and it's a good thing. Seriously good thing.
Oh yeah. So depending on the language, we need to use that particular command,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, so kind of a bit polish the style, just to kind of render well. And of course, this is just the start. So this ASCII doc gives us a lot of opportunity we can actually even have documentation always up to date. For example, we can include as a snippets parts of the like content of some external file, and we can actually with some tags mark the beginning and the end. So imagine that you have acceptance test now, and the acceptance test testing something, but we want to just say paste in our document just annotations. And we can do that as well. And with that, we can always have up-to-date documentation. So if we change the format of the annotation, or we change something there, it's going to be automatically reflected whenever you render the docs. So
nice.
similar could be here. For example, we could have some, say, a test or a job where we maybe install. Imagine quick start guide. You want to install the operator, and you can actually import that line which is there, and from the script you use for example, installing the operator and installing the service binding and creating the service binding and checking if the test application works. That kind of things.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So I think at least we are good to go out with this content for the GA, and we can always update as we see that need improvement. So
any other common feedback? How do you like it?
It looks good.
yeah, so yesterday one thing which I mentioned while talking to Predrag, that was it's not immediately something. My suggestion is to add a frequently asked questions FAQ section. I mean that we need to curate that, like by seeing the real questions coming up often in our Slack channels and in other places, that we can aggregate and start growing a FAQ section. My session.
Sounds like a good idea. And maybe just a question for Thomas. If I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at or review the docs. Just wanted to kind of find out if any comments or suggestions.
Some of them, yes, I checked. Well, I was keeping an eye on the PRs that went in. So far, great.
Okay, good.
I'm happy to see that.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
please.
yeah, I plan to go deeper. Like one of the things that I would like to do is check definitely the quick start. Because I think that's important even for our users. So I will.
Feel free to contribute anything what you find, like typos, miss some kind of wrong sentences. Yeah.
Let us know. Yeah, please, and also feel free to contribute. Okay, great. Thank you.
So one thing, this will be the. So are you planning to use some other domain, or it will be in this place?
Not for a moment. So we're gonna host it from that GitHub domain.
So we can link to this.
Yeah, and we link that from the. I mean, GitHub domain will be active anyway, right? So if we ever decide to have something else, then we're gonna have it in parallel. But yeah, GitHub domain will be active. We also link that from our README in the GitHub repo. So
yeah, and that is this domain, lack of domain is kind of intentional, because we are going to have another domain for the spec, and at some point of time, maybe we'll be contributing this documentation and effort into the servicebinding.io domain, which is going to be live sooner. It's there right now, but
there's nothing there, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a blank website. So hopefully this will have more content. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's move on to the next topic.
I would say before we get there, Thomas, if you have any questions or discussion points that you would like to bring up, maybe let's start with that first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I haven't formulated it in my
head yet.
So
that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to at least, I think the next piece is more from a team community perspective. So it's less technical per se. So I just wanted to give you that opportunity to ask your questions first.
If it's okay, I will try to bring it later once I sort it in my head.
Sure. Please.
I have something.
Okay. Please. Okay. Yeah. So the next item here is as we're going to GA fairly soon, right? We've have engaged in the past with a number of different teams in this community before this community call started, and so forth, right? And we've heard from some, we haven't heard from others, right? I think it would be a good opportunity for us to follow up with them, right? To understand where they are today. Do they know that GA is coming out? Are they aware of any of the changes that are coming? Right. So I wanted to get the team's thoughts, feedback on what's the best way to approach this and organize this, right? Because we've worked with a number of these folks. Some of us has built connections with them, right? How do we go about to follow up and kind of understand where they are today and what their plans are going forward for SBO? Right. What are your thoughts about how we can do this?
I think once we have some materials like a blog post, that would be easy to share. Maybe
I mean,
videos and.
I would say like the website itself, in terms of documentation that you just shared, should be enough, right?
Yeah.
At least as a starting point to have the conversation, right? And then you can definitely let them know that the videos that we're looking to plan, same thing with the blog as well, right? These are things that we're looking to continue to build out, right, going forward. It would be also good to understand what else would they like to see, right, to help them understand this, right? Understand this project, understand this operator, right? Andy, Pavel, Baiju, what are your thoughts on how we can engage with these users of SBO?
Yeah, of course, the Slack channels, obviously we can notify. We need to identify some other avenues. My opinion, we should sign up for some conference to submit the talk and see if we, of course, our team members, all of us can submit and see if it gets selected, or maybe not as individual, maybe as a 2-person talk or something. It could be virtual conference or real. Now I can see QuickCon started in like a real conference, so that's we can do.
What about reaching out directly to the contacts? Andy, were you about to suggest something?
I was going to say, I largely agree with what Baiju has said. A lot of what we have down already are good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to figure out which is the most feasible to do, given our current resources.
Yeah. Pavel. Yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, sorry. So I don't know how much are you in contact with like Kubernetes upstream community? Because I've had one good idea might be to like show demo or present this in a SIG application, SIG apps meetings. They do demo at the beginning of the meetings when there is something, and it might be a nice place to get like more eyes on this.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed SIG apps, many people comes and present various application-related topics. So this fits into this. And we know that at some point of maybe we are hoping this package will be part of the SIG apps, which is not a priority now, but still,
And we have even a lot of Red Hatters in that group. I think that even maybe the current lead is maybe Maciej from Red Hat. And few months back, I know that even a dev file was demoed there in the meeting also.
And
it might be a really good fit.
And we can reach out some internal list also. We can send I don't know whether we send announcement to the OpenShift. There is a mailing list which is very active for OpenShift, right? AWS Develop, we believe, right? That's an internal one, mailing list. We could send our announcement mail there. Yeah, I think this is the mailing list name, if I remember correctly. It has more wider, Kubernetes. Or this is of course the internal mail list. Maybe public mail list. I don't know whether any that we could send mail.
So any other ideas in terms of how we can connect with the folks? connect with the users, community.
Is there any like general Kubernetes announcement list, so where we can actually also send an announcement?
There is Kubernetes announcements to Slack channel and mailing list, but I think that they are reserved for like core Kubernetes stuff, not
Yeah.
for related projects. But one good place, and I don't know where to reach people, but it would be good to announce it or make SBO visible somewhere around the community of the like operator hub or the folks that are actually developing the operators. So that's one critical audience to reach. I don't know how, but it's definitely somehow we should make SBO visible there.
Well, SBO is there, but just when you open the main page, it's just a not sure so how this is sorted, or probably
No,
it's sorted
I meant so that the people submitting operators or writing the operators are aware of the SBO existence. Basically, operator developers in general.
Oh, maybe I don't know whether this is going to be a bit tricky. Like we had support for some of the backing service operators. I don't know best way to approach them. Maybe we can reach out to them and say that we are supporting your operator, backing service operator in our like the Couch, not CouchDB, or all those Crunchy, Postgres, MongoDB, all those operators. We can send them a note.
Yeah, that would be another conversation, I think, as a follow-up on how we, proceed in terms of next steps with engaging with those service and operator owners. So, okay. Well, thank you for the feedback. We can take a look at this and see what the what actions we can take from there.
Yeah, I just noted down the possibilities. All may not work, but at least some out of them we can try. Okay,
Sounds good.
I want to I missed that point. I want to discuss about the video content outline at least. The introduction video I'm talking about. So I tried to record something and speak, but looks like it's not. I was just trying to, the rough outline is something, this is what I'm planning. I just want to know whether this is sufficient or not. The first, we are going to start with the displaying the page, GitHub page of the service binding operator. That's where I'm thinking to start. And then explain a bit about what is this service binding operator, what it does. And briefly mention spec, and we need to mention that this is a spec compliant and we are trying to make it compliant with the spec, and probably open the spec page and briefly scroll through that and maybe highlight a few important points, and then explain the maybe importance of the spec, and then mention the documentation website where this is all documented, and from there open the getting started guide and then show the OpenShift installation. But there are three possibilities. We are OLM and just directly applying the resource and then the OpenShift. So I think we can show the doing the installation through the OpenShift itself. I mean the OCP UI based installation. This itself will take 5 minutes in my opinion. So
my suggestion here is that I think we can mention the spec and where to find information, but I don't know that we need to dive deeper into it, right? This video is introductory video for SBO, right? We'll have additional details and explanations in the user guide and direct references to the spec if they have any additional questions, right?
Yeah.
So who is the target audience for your video?
Okay,
so
there's
go ahead,
like anyone those who are coming for the first time, mainly the target audience is not the banking service product. This is application developers.
Okay. So then, and what is your goal? Your goal is to explain the technology or to try to convince them about the technology?
Yeah, about the technology and how it is significant and how it's going to impact the, or help them to.
I would focus, Baiju, if you just, sorry to jump in here, but I would focus on more the technical explanation, right? And ultimately, this video will be used beyond just introductions to the project itself, but also to other teams within Red Hat, right? Who wants to learn more about this and understand this, right? So this
Okay.
is
So
more of a,
it's more an introduction about the project, not about
Yes.
the value of the technology.
correct. Like by the point that they see here, this would be a additional resource that they could look at beyond the README or the initial landing page, just to quickly learn about this project.
Okay.
Right, high level, what it does, where it's how it's you install it, what features it's capable of, what features it has, right, and what it can do,
Okay.
and where to
then,
get more information.
So then it's different to me, because if it's an intro about the technology,
Mhm.
how it works, how I should use it, and why I should use it, then it's like a pitch that you want to give, and you want to go to the value that it will provide to the developers as fast as possible. So you've been connecting your application to banking services in a very ad hoc way in the past. So with service binding, you are going to do it in a different way. And this is going to be simpler because of this, and this. It's in this case, you are trying to convince me that I should use service binding operator. And that I understand. But what I see here is not about this. It's an intro about the project. It explains where it is. It explains where I can find information, but it does not tell me why I should use it. It does not, as a developer, it's not because I would have seen this content that I will be convinced that I need to do it. And I think what you have been speaking about, Jasper, is more about how can we convince someone to use the technology. Is my assumption correct?
or is it how to use it? I felt like Jasper is trying to say in something like the Quick Start Guide, where it shows actually how it works.
Where do you want to put the video?
My hope is that it could be on the landing page of the website, right, and as well as available to folks.
So the best way to,
yeah,
in my opinion, if we want to do something like this, the best is to do a demo, is to show off the technology. You take an application and you show off how simpler it is, and you get to the value prop as fast as possible. So you explain the value prop of the technology. And this is what is going to hook somebody into the technology. And then if you want to use that internally, it would be nice to see, hey, and by the way, it works with Odo when you do the different commands in Odo, and then it works in the OpenShift console when you do the binding. And that brings a better sense, in my opinion, because people will not care about the spec and people will not care about where the documentation is, at least upfront. They will always find where is the documentation if they are interested by the technology.
right.
Okay.
Because the technology will have a meaning for them and a value for them.
Yeah, that means we can convert this quick start into the form of a video, which will give a good demo, right? Is that?
Yeah. That would help highlight the key benefits and value of this project.
Okay. Yeah, then maybe still we need a brief intro and all at the beginning,
Yeah.
and no need to mention. Okay, I can mention the spec, but no need to go to the spec website and show the mention the spec. Should I display the installation part? Is that really necessary? Or
I mean, you can explain like a high level how it gets installed, right? And you can show it like once it's installed, for example, if, depending on the video, like have it already installed, you can see it, right?
okay, so I think we got
And
the
Baiju, I think if you could add to your demo how it will work with Odo or how it will show on the OpenShift console, it will be best.
works with what okay. This part I am not that much familiar. OpenShift. Oh, see.
But you should,
Yeah, okay.
because we are building a layer for Zeus products, so we should be familiar with that. We should try it. We should try our work with Zeus, and we should know how it works in those tools.
You know, maybe we can, but with 5 minutes timeline, it would be very difficult and challenging. So
It could be a
the
part
first-
2.
Yeah, it could be a part two,
that we could do.
right? Yeah, this could be a part 2 of this video. So first part, we can just highlight these points, just give a quick introduction and explain the importance of this SBO. Of course, mention the spec briefly, and then, of course, in my opinion, we should display at least this GitHub page and this documentation page. At least we should open it once, and then focus on the quick start, how it actually works, and the usage, and point the highlight the benefits of the operator along with that. And then in the part 2, like you said, we could go and show how it when the ecosystem works with OCP integration and Odo, all those things.
Isn't the biggest value proposition for SBO the part that actually it can cooperate with other tools? Because if you think just about binding and nothing else, like binding application service, like it's not that interesting, because like developers can already do that, and to be honest, more easily without the SBO, right? But when the SBO shines is that you have the link in form of service binding resource, and other tools can understand it. Maybe just like showing, even if it's like 30 seconds, showing that it shows in the web console, or it shows in audio wouldn't show right now. But basically, showing that it can, other tools can cooperate with that. That might be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean OCP, that displaying that UI, we can do
So,
it here itself.
I think, Thomas, the value prop of SBO, it's that it brings consistency in the way you are going to manage the binding between your application and the services. That is one of the value prop of SBO if you are using it alone. Then you will have some clients which will help you to work with the different binding metadata in the code of your application. And hopefully you will have operators who are going to become compliant with the specification. But otherwise, you're right, where it's shining, it's when it is used with the tools, when it is integrated in OCP, the dev console, or when it is used in Odo, where it really makes the experience much simpler than what exists elsewhere.
Yeah, I hope that won't take much time to show the visualization part of how it looks like in the developer console, so that we still can fit in, I guess.
It can be really like quick, like even if you show
Yeah, yeah.
just a screenshot how it looks,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
can be there for 10 seconds or
Right.
something. But
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And that could be a topic to explore in more details in future videos, etc.
Yeah,
Right. So
right. So I think, let me know if any other thoughts coming up.
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I can try to create a video if this idea is okay, but I still don't know whether my voice would be okay. Maybe we can give somebody else the voiceover.
No, I mean
Is it okay?
it should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw a few videos from you, and I think it's more than okay.
Okay,
They're
fine.
great.
Okay, good. Actually, we had a couple of standing items, but I just added like that because this is something that we usually do. But if there is any other topics, we can discuss that. And we did this, yeah, I think last week also. And I don't see any more new tickets added.
Okay.
Uh, so any other topics somebody want to?
Sorry. I was mute. So I have one. It's about the demo. So today we have been adding adding a capability to bind into with certain set of operators. So SBO is available with those operators. I think it's very important that we work on sample code that is going to show off the integration with those backing services. So I think it's very important that we do that because integration test is important as well, but being able to show off the technology is even more important. So the managed DB team, they are working on demos and they are working on source code for each of the DB that they are working on. And they are working on very basic sample code, which are just using SBO as well. I think we need to, it's an effort that we can't avoid and that we need to do on our side as well. Could be very basic, could be very, very simple to start with, but we need to do that to make sure that it is then consumable by other teams as well. So imagine that we have made, for example, we have made the compatibility with MySQL, with one of the operator for MySQL. So having a source code so that the audio team can try it out, can try to do a link, an audio link with the source code and this operator, I think it's important. And then trying it out on the OpenShift Developer Console will be important as well. And on our side, we should be able to do those tests. It's very important that we look at the tools that are using our technology as well to make sure that the experience is smooth and that we look at the different gaps that we might have as well. So.
Yeah. No, I think I agree. Like learning how to use it and understand it, we can speak to it better, right? When we have conversations with the various different teams. So.
But the only thing, I mean, what I would like that we avoid is really the application of the effort. If the database as a service team has already something, then this should also work with the, say, MySQL operator we support, for example, or we should tweak that code to support multiple databases. at once. So I would really like to understand more what the database service, or I mean, not only me. So it will be useful if we could get some connection to them, or like they come to our meetings, or we go to their meetings, that we understand what they are doing, because it seems to me that right now we are doing things in silos. So we do something, Odeo does something, then the database service does something else. So I would say we should consolidate, simply to avoid duplication and unnecessary energy waste.
We definitely should collaborate with them if possible, right? So
yeah.
That's good. We can start looking into that in the upcoming sprints.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So Thomas, if you have already some applications you use for audio testing and demos and so on, actually we could host this. I mean, have those application part of the service binding repo, or some additional repo where we kind of host those applications in one place, so that we can actually, use them on multiple occasions.
So we actually try to avoid having like special examples or applications just for audio. We basically, our quick start guides and most of the guides are based around existing examples.
Even better,
projects.
yeah. Even better.
So one thing that we use quite a lot is the Spring Boot Pet Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we started with this Spring Boot in our application, and there was some challenge earlier with the default Spring Boot. So I went ahead with using a fork, which used PostgreSQL. But now we have support for MySQL also. That means, that was one issue that at that time. So we had so that means even we can make the main, not the fork. Spring Boot also works with our SPO now. Yeah.
And this is exactly the one of the benefits when you use upstream projects or something existing, that you can also find like missing pieces in your project. Like that, there is no MySQL, for example. Because if you try to build the application or example application just for your use case, then it usually fails in real world scenarios.
Do you know whether the Quarkus has their own realistic examples like that?
Yeah. There are few. They have even like, I don't know how they call it. They have like starter generator or something like that, where you can basically, there's a web page that you click what database libraries and stuff can you use, and generates the skeleton project. It's used in Quarkus dev file. I can point you to that if you want.
Yeah. I think those things maybe, that would be much more good in my opinion, because that is more Red Hat technologies. Of course, it's all, anyone can use it. It's all open source. So
That's Quarkus.io.
okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll check it out.
You can have infinite number of examples from that side.
Oh, is it? Okay. But I'll explore that later. So, yeah, anything else, Steven, you want to mention about the demo, or? Okay, good. If any other agenda, anybody want to talk about?
Looks like we're good for today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's end the call then. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye.